Well, I think the preparation is pretty much the same. You look at as much film on them as you possibly can, whether it's a 10-year veteran or a rookie quarterback. So I think the process of what you're trying to do is the same. You try to watch a lot of film. You try to study the coordinator. You try to understand some schemes based on their personnel grouping. I don't think it's just the quarterback. I think you got to look at you know what their offensive line grouping is, their skill players, how they'll use them. I think there's a lot of components that go into, facing, whether it's a quarterback. You kind of look at the group as a whole, and you take into account the coaching aspect of it and kind of stuff that they've done over the years and ways that they might use them. But being opening day, there's a lot of unknowns going into it. Well, I think you prepare for everybody that's on the roster. So, like when you start in the preseason or you start last spring, you prepare for all the quarterbacks that are on their roster. So, I mean, we were preparing for Cam, we were preparing for Mac Jones, we were preparing for Brian Hoyer, we were preparing for Stidham, and you just kind of see how it shakes out. So, I think you have a preparation plan that goes into place for all of them, and then once it kind of gets narrowed down and fine tuned, you have to prepare for everybody that's on the roster. Yeah, I think that goes, along with the week of preparation. When you start preparing for teams and you prepare for the quarterbacks that are on their roster and the differences that there may be, I think when you get down to the end of the week, it's okay. If it's this guy, we probably like these things a little bit better than others. And if you get down to the end of the week and you go, okay, these are calls that we like against, whoever, we'll carry those. And if something happens in the game and the game changes and the quarterback changes or the game, then you just kind of adapt and adjust to that with a set of calls that you like going into that. I think we're guaranteed to see something that we're not preparing for week one. I mean, I think that was the case last year. I think that was the case the year before. I mean, you prepare for a lot of things, and you look at a lot of history, a lot of things that they've done with certain personnel groupings. But there's always an element of unknown going into it. So I think you just have to be ready to adjust and be ready to adapt. When we're playing on Sunday, to get things handled that you weren't quite, ready to see. Well, again, I think it starts with you look at their personnel group as a whole, even with all their additions. I think you look at the coordinator and things that he's done with certain personnel groupings, and you try to relate that to guys that he's had in the past and how he may use them. Um, again, there will be an element of unknown to it. I think we've prepared, for a lot of different scenarios. Again, in the preseason, they didn't have everybody available to them that they'll have available this Sunday. So again, there's a little bit of a guess on that. I would say it's an educated guess. We've spent some time on, what they've done in the past. But again, there's also going to be an element of unknown that we'll have to handle and be ready to prepare for. What we do know is they're going to be very well coached. They're going to play hard. They're going to play for a full 60 minutes, and we got to be ready to match that, and we got to be ready to go. Yeah, I mean, I think you work extremely hard, especially going into week one, to leave no stone unturned. So I think whether it's watching guys that are on other teams or college teams, or watching years past where the coordinators used certain personnel that you think similar to what he has now. I think all those things go into consideration. And I think that's just part of the preparation process. Again, with all of our players, I think, our defense will evolve over time. And, it's one of those things that kind of remains to be seen what will be on defense. It's exciting, but it's also a process, so, hopefully we'll be good at certain things. Where guys are listed or where guys end up, I think how you start the season, how you end the season will be two different things. So, we're excited for all our guys. Any guys that we march out there on the field on Sunday, we'll have confidence in, and we're looking forward to getting ready against a well-coached, a very talented opponent this week, and we're all going to need to be at our best. Yeah, again, I would say, not unique to Jalen, but, we're all striving to be as consistent as possible. I think there were some good things out there. I think there's some things that we can correct. I think we're all striving to be consistently good at coaching. We're all striving to be consistently good at playing. I think that's a work in progress for all of us. And like I said, I don't think it's unique to Jalen. I think we saw some good things out there. I think we saw some things that, we could probably get a little bit better. And the good thing, about all of our guys is they're diligent workers. They'll come in, they'll put in a good day's work. And, again, our goal really hasn't changed from day one. Is we want to be better tomorrow than what we were today. And then, and just carry that and try to string good days together. I think it all starts with you consistently want to put the players in the best position to succeed. And I think week to week that could differ. I think a lot of it's based on, the offensive personnel. Some of it will be based on our personnel, and then really kind of their scheme and what they're trying to do. But I think the underlying factor is really what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the players in the best position to succeed. Well, again, I think regardless of who you are on the football field, if you can only do one thing, and you better be able to do that one thing really, really well, because it won't take anybody very long to figure out what you're doing. So I think, anytime that, we ask our guys to do multiple things, and I think, collectively from a group, when guys can do multiple things, it gives you the opportunity to run different looks. And again, it goes back to just trying to utilize everybody's talent, and putting them in a good position to succeed. You're welcome. Good. How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. Yeah, again, I think it goes back to, they have some talented guys at that position for sure. And, I think they're very good football players. You can go back and look at how the coordinator, Josh McDaniels, who does a very good job, you can go all the way back to, Daniel Graham and Ben Watson. I think you try to look at how they've utilized their tight ends in the past. They've had good tight ends there in the past. And how their skill sets are similar to some of the players that they've had. But again, like I said, there's an element of unknown, and we definitely expect to see the unexpected. We'll just have to prepare and adjust for that as it comes up. But again, I think just when it comes to preparation that, you don't want to leave any stone unturned. So you study the player themselves and where they've been and what they've done and what they've had success with. And then you look at, just from a philosophical offensive standpoint of how they may use them.
Traditionally speaking, I don't want to put anybody's cards on the table, but traditionally speaking, from your experience, how do offenses that are kind of tight end heavy use that position to help a quarterback who might be making his first start or is just relatively inexperienced?
Well, they could, I think it varies from team to team, and how they use them. And again, what the tight end skill sets are, I think, obviously when you put a good group of guys and I'll say this, whether it's, it doesn't really matter what the quarterback's, whether it's his first game or this 10th game or his 12th year, whoever Josh is going to put out there on the field on Sunday, they have a lot of confidence in him and confidence that he can run the offense and he'll run the offense well and he'll make good decisions, and it's going to be a big challenge for us to make sure that we know and understand what personnel they have on the field and, what they're trying to do to us and how we can best try to get them off the field. Well, I think a lot of it is, it's the same thing. When you see guys out there for us on Sunday, we'll have a lot of confidence in them, and we'll have confidence that they know what they're doing and they can execute, our game plan well. Not really getting into, hey, we're going to use this guy on this or use this guy on that. I think that would just put you at a competitive disadvantage. But we're excited about all of our guys that we have on our roster, and and we got to get everybody ready to go, and we got to get ready to defend everybody on their roster. So that's kind of how we look at it.